From dance moves that left some people flustered, to violence having to be dialed way down, Steven Universe had quite the talent for upsetting the censors of the world. In this video, I'm going to walk you through episodes that had minor edits, and some that were outright banned. I'll also be keeping a tally of points for each part of the world to find out which has made the most changes. Starting out with an early episode that most of the world wasn't big fans of. In Season 1's Frybo, Steven uses the magic MacGuffin of the week to bring things to life, including the titular Fry costume, Frybo. And this episode really plays into the creepiness of that mascot costume. I mean, just look at that thing's face. And some parts of the world thought it was a little too much. Like this scene being cut in Latin America, for example.
Please! No more fries!
Definitely a little creepy, so this being cut was kinda understandable. But that's not all, as multiple parts of the world cut parts of this clip. Some even cut the whole scene. These include countries in southern, western, central, and eastern Europe, like Russia, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and the UK and Ireland.
Steven! Where? Your move, Frybo. Attack!
You'd think that would be it, but nope. There's more. The Middle East and North Africa, Turkey, and Latin America also removed this scene. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think any country wanted to see that. In the censored edits, the scene's just abruptly cut between the shots that show his butt. And finally, this tiny little one-liner from Steven was also banned in Russia.
I wear the pants in this relationship.
You'd think that they'd care more about the costume spewing ketchup blood from its eye everywhere, but that's fine for kids. Can't have jokes they won't get, though. Another episode from Season 1 is Steven's Lion. The episode is very tame, being the introduction for, well, Steven's pet lion, named Lion. But despite that, the censors of the world weren't happy with a particular joke.
What are you having, Steven? You must be hungry.
Large pizza, please. Extra fishy. I'm ordering for 2.
Steven's pregnant?
But I have a giant pet lion right outside.
Harmless, right? Well, Central, Southern, and Eastern Europe, the Middle East, North Africa, and the UK and Ireland all removed this moment. Seems like a bit of an overreaction, and it definitely wasn't worth it with how awkwardly the clip cuts.
Steven,
Large pizza, please. Extra fishy.
you must be hungry.
But I have a giant pet lion right outside.
The bad editing gets worse, though, as right after this clip happens, a speaking line from Ronaldo, one of the side characters, is muted, but his mouth still moves. And it's pretty noticeable. Take a look. Here's the original.
Steven was lying.
Bet you're not even pregnant.
No, I'm telling the truth.
And here's the edited censor.
Steven was lying.
No, I'm telling the truth.
I'm sure there's not much they could have done to fix it, so was it really that necessary to remove this clip? Definitely not. Speaking of unnecessary, one of the series' most popular episodes, being the Season 1 finale Prison Break, was also on the censors' radars. This time for violence. Shocker, the action show has action in it. During the Stronger Than You scene, Garnet shatters Jasper's helmet, and this was a little too much for France, Italy, Spain, and the UK and Ireland. Here's what the scene looks like normally.
Go ahead and try hit me if you're able to disable. I know you think I'm no something you're afraid of, 'cause you're the but I ain't even more.
And here's what it looks like with censors.
Go ahead and try hit me if you're able to disable. I know you think I'm no something you're afraid of. See what I'm made of.
This wasn't the only violence censored, though, as each point of contact between the characters is blocked by a flash of white. Wanting less violence is fine, but again, it's an action cartoon. Isn't that the whole appeal of the show? Well, apart from the characters, but even they get censored. In the same episode, Ruby and Sapphire's reunion fusion dance was removed in the Middle East and North Africa, and the Philippines. And their kiss was removed in the Southeast Asia and Turkey.
Did they hurt you? No, I'm okay.
Steven!
Thank you.
It's a shame these parts of the world would feel the need to protect children from LGBTQ+ content, but each country does have their own culture. Then again though, I don't know what they expected from the show when LGBTQ+ content is one of its most integral themes. Not just to the characters, but the plot too. But gay relationships aren't the only thing that have been censored, as straight relationships have also been censored. I guess love is just completely evil in the eyes of certain countries. Look away, children! In Island Adventure, Sadie and Lars, the donut duo, grow closer to one another after being trapped alone together. Also, Steven is there too. And of course, after spending so much time together, they're bound to share at least one pretty intimate moment.
Do you ever get lonely, even when you're around people? Sadie.
Why don't you let yourself just be?
Steven!
Surprisingly, most of the world really hated this scene and edited it in different ways. Australia and New Zealand, the Philippines, and Southeast Asia replaced it with a shot of Lars crying. France, Italy, Latin America, and the UK and Ireland cut the scene at the start of the kiss, cutting out the characters', noises. And Poland, Russia, Taiwan, Turkey, and Central and Eastern Europe cut the scene entirely. It's amazing to see the world unite as one to censor a children's cartoon, and all in completely different ways, too.
Do you ever get lonely, even when you're around people?
Why don't you let yourself just be?
Steven!
For a show about love and friendship, the world sure does love cutting out the parts of, well, love and friendship. Just wait till they find out about every other cartoon in the world. And speaking of love and friendship, we now have We Need to Talk from Season 2. The episode is a flashback story about Greg and Rose, and how he learned about fusion, and, well, tried to fuse with her, if you catch my drift.
We didn't fuse.
What?
You thought I meant something else, didn't you? Get your mind out of the gutter! With how intimate fusion is deemed in the show, and with it being the primary theme of the episode, it was straight up banned in the Middle East and Turkey. Again, this was due to the heavy themes, but it's a pretty important episode to the story, so I imagine any fans from there were confused. As for edits and censors, Pearl and Rose's fusion dance was cut up and replaced with shots of Greg playing guitar due to the explicit LGBTQ+ themes on display, and in a lot of places too. This includes most of Europe, the UK and Ireland, Poland, Portugal, Russia, and more. The way Rainbow Quartz just kinda appears in place looks so awkward. I bet even some viewers noticed the cut on first viewing. She barely has any screen time anyway, so Pearl and Rose basically fused for 8 seconds. What a great use of their powers. Moving on to something more in line with more traditional censors is a scene from Gem Harvest. Steven meets one of his estranged family members in this episode, his uncle Andy, but no one warns him that Andy has such a foul potty mouth. In Australia and New Zealand, Poland, Russia, and the UK and Ireland, Andy's line of "you little turd" was muted. Despicable. Here's the original clip.
You call me Uncle Andy. Greg, you little turd, how come you never told me? I'm an uncle. I can't believe it.
How was I supposed to?
And here's the censored version.
You call me Uncle Andy. Greg, how come you never told me? I'm an uncle. I can't believe it.
How was I supposed to?
To be fair, this one's not that bad. You'd probably never notice the change unless you were told or shown it. Seems like Cartoon Network gets a lot of flack for using turd in their shows. The same thing happened in regular show. When will they learn? Moving on to the final season, not including Steven Universe Future, we have a single pale rose. Steven travels through Pearl's memories and ends up learning more about his mom, and during a scene featuring Pink Diamond, she swallows shards of a shattered gem. Definitely a bizarre scene on its own, with or without context. It was cut in France, in the UK, and Ireland, and it was replaced with a shot of Steven hiding.
Convincing? Very much so, my diamond. Soon it will be just Rose.
This was supposedly cut to prevent children from imitating what they see on TV. But I think if you're watching Steven Universe, you're probably smart enough to already know that. How old did they think the target demographic was? 3 and below? However, this is just the icing on the cake. As in the Philippines and Southeast Asia in general, this episode was considered the series finale. Like, huh? That's because the final arc of the series, episodes 19, Now We're Only Falling Apart, through 28, Change Your Mind, were completely banned due to the, quote, extreme LGBTQ plus themes, unquote, including Garnet's wedding. Imagine how confused you'd be as a fan from there. Here's a clip from one of the episodes to show you what I mean.
I now pronounce you Garnet.
And here's a clip from the banned version. What's the problem? This is exactly how they aired it. Either way, this ain't worth 1 point. It's worth 9 points. 1 for each episode. I'm sure that shook up the tally. On to the next episode, we have one based around the supposed target audience of the show, 3 gems and a baby. This is another flashback episode. This one about the crystal gems learning to accept baby Steven as a separate person to Rose. While learning about babies, each of the gems get Greg a gift for baby Steven, but they're not quite appropriate.
This is so practical. Diapers! They're way too big for him. Wait, are these adult diapers?
So tell him to make himself bigger. You can do that.
I'd go as far as to say Amethyst's gift wasn't appropriate for anyone, and the censors agree, as any mention of these being adult diapers was removed in Poland and the UK and Ireland. In fact, any mention of diapers at all was removed in Portugal, Russia, and Southern Europe. I forgot that they outlawed adult diapers over there.
This is so practical. Diapers! Wait, they're way too big for him.
So tell him to make himself bigger. You can do that.
Censoring a weird joke is valid, even if kids won't get it, but I seriously don't understand the reason behind removing all mentions of adult diapers. That's so stupid. Another strange joke that was censored comes from Arcade Mania, though this one is probably more on the nose compared to the last. This is yet another episode from Season 1 of Steven trying to teach the gems about human activities and failing. After winning on all of the other games, Steven takes Garnet to play Meat Beat Mania. Yeah, definitely not subtle.
Meat Beat Mania. How about that one? Just shake the meat to the beat. There's no violence in this game.
And due to how unsubtle the joke is, it was partially censored. With the game being pretty plot relevant, the censors weren't able to remove it entirely, so instead, the word meat was digitally edited out of the logo of the game. As well as this, any instances of Steven saying the game's name was removed. Most of Europe were the ones to remove this.
I win again.
How about that one? Just shake the meat to the beat. There's no violence in this game.
Despite this joke being more obvious, I still feel like kids wouldn't get it, so it was basically a joke for adults, removed by adults. Full circle, huh? This isn't the only scene where this arcade cabinet is named, though, as later during the conflict of the episode, Steven runs back to it and says its name.
Meat Beat Mania.
Steven, where are you going?
Huh?
Unfortunately for the censors, they forgot about this instance and didn't actually censor Steven saying Meat Beat Mania, even though all they would have had to do is remove the first word. Is that laziness or obliviousness?
Meat Beat Mania!
Steven, where are you going?
Huh? Got it!
If you look closely at the machine, you can see that they still got rid of the word meat, making it all the more confusing on how they missed the first part. Similar to the previous entry, So Many Birthdays has a joke that would easily fly over kids' heads, but was removed anyway. Steven's age rapidly fluctuates after feeling too old for birthdays, and during his teenage phase, he makes a statement with a double meaning that I don't think even he understood.
But a boy on the cusp of manhood can't spend the whole day whackering.
You're gonna get whacked.
I need to take control of my life to get a proper job.
Yeah, teenagers whackering before adulthood. Back to back on the same spicy joke? I see you, Cartoon Network. As do the censors. Australia and New Zealand, the Philippines, Southeast Asia, Russia, and Southern Europe, and the UK and Ireland all removed this line in favor of this masterfully edited cut.
You're gonna get whacked.
I need to take control of my life to get a proper job.
I think the countries are the ones that need to take control of their lives. This wasn't the only change, as any lines referring to death were changed in the Italian version of the show, particularly the word die.
He's just really, 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 really old. He's okay.
Gems can't die from aging, but he's half human.
Oh, and of course, this whole episode was banned in the Middle East and North Africa due to themes of maturity. To be fair, you're not missing out on much if you skip this episode. Another thing that kids wouldn't get, but should be taught, is the Heimlich maneuver. That may sound really odd and super specific, but that's because it was used in the episode Joking Victim. Steven gets a part-time job at the Big Donut and has to watch a training tape which teaches him how to save a choking customer.
Now take both hands, push below the diaphragm. Assist them, get them happy and breathing as fast as you can.
Later in the episode, Lars chokes on a magical fiery donut, because of Steven, but despite it being magic, only one very regular act can save him.
Say it. Customer chokes on a donut. You assist them. Push below the diaphragm.
Seems like a pretty useful thing to teach kids, whether they're the ones choking or if they need to do it to help someone. However, some parts of the world disagreed and completely wiped everything to do with the Heimlich maneuver from the episode, including the video that Steven watched. God forbid our children know basic safety. The culprits of this censorship is, once again, the majority of Europe, as well as the Middle East and North Africa. Here's the censored clip of the videotape.
State law requires that you assist them, get them happy and breathing as fast as you can. That's the law.
And here's the moment where Steven uses the Heimlich to save Lars.
Say it. If a customer chokes on a donut, you assist them.
If you listen closely, you can hear where the music is cut. I seriously don't understand what these countries were thinking. Maybe it was something along the lines of, let's make this show worse and remove important lessons from it for the kids. Actually, probably not. Pretty much all of these censors so far have been pretty negative, even if they were somehow well-intentioned. So, let's talk about one that attempted to redeem a character from Story for Steven. This is the episode where Greg meets Rose, but Greg's manager Marty isn't really into having just one relationship.
Oh, here we go. How big was she?
8 feet tall.
See, Greg, this is your problem. You want one huge woman when you could have multiple smaller ones.
Pretty gross, but it gets his character and motives across very precisely. A manipulative jerk that's only in it for himself. In the UK and Ireland, his line was changed to something a little less evil, but still kinda scummy sounding.
Oh, here we go. How big was she?
8 feet tall.
See, Greg, this is your problem. Don't get distracted by these small town girls. They don't matter.
This wasn't the only change made to this episode, though, as one of Rose's lines was also edited out of the episode due to sounding too intentional? I don't know, but I guess it could probably be interpreted in a not so kid-friendly way. Here's the original clip.
Please go away. You're awfully cute, and I really want to play with you. Your life is short and you have dreams. I won't let you give up on everything you want.
And here's the edited version that aired in France, Italy, Poland, Scandinavia, and more.
Please go away. You're awfully cute. But your life is short and you have dreams. I won't let you give up on everything you want.
A pretty seamless edit, to be fair, but it seems that the censors didn't watch the show. However they interpreted the original line is definitely not what Rose meant. Those dirty-minded fools. All things considered, though, this was a pretty innocent episode, so I guess that's why the Middle East and North Africa completely banned it. Wait, what? Yeah, this episode never aired over there due to it being so romantically themed. They must have taken Rose's line even more seriously than the other countries. And speaking of taking things seriously, we have another censored line, this time from The Message. And no, the message itself is not what was censored. This episode finds the gems trying to communicate with Lapis as she tries to warn them. Greg manages to find a way to broadcast the message, which really surprises Pearl. I mean, just listen to what she has to say.
Steven!
I did it!
Lapis?
I can't believe my flipping eyes. Everyone, listen up.
Whoa! Language? That's not my reaction, by the way. That was Europe again, as they cut this line alongside the Middle East and North Africa. It's not even a curse word. We're seriously censoring flipping now? Feels more like these countries were flipping through hoops to cover everything up.
Steven!
Lapis?
I did it!
I hope you're able to hear.
Due to the way the scene plays out, Garnet's line of "listen up everyone" was also cut, as the edit would have been even worse if they kept it. You can even see Pearl move when Greg's line ends, indicating where she would have spoken if the line wasn't cut. Literally, no one would have been upset if this line wasn't cut, guys. Stop overreacting. And now we have the clip we opened the video with from Season 1's The Return. This episode introduces Jasper, and what a way to introduce her it was, instantly defeating Garnet with one attack. Pretty brutal. And although there was no blood or anything, it's a pretty disturbing way for her to go out, especially the way her 3 eyes roll back. As expected, this was way too much for some countries, so it was cut in Australia and New Zealand, the Middle East and North Africa, and a good chunk of Europe. Meanwhile, only minor edits were made in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. This was probably one of the most widespread and agreed upon censors around the world, and it's probably the most reasonable too. I can only imagine how many kids would have been scared by or even turned off the show from this. It really is a shame just how much of this show was edited and censored. Regardless of that though, you'll want to know which country has the most points. And the winner, or loser, is Southern Europe with 15 points. Wow, that's actually a lot more than I anticipated. And it was actually a close one, with Southeast Asia and Northern Europe in a tie for second, having 13 points each. But that'll be all for today. If you want to see some more awesome videos, click the videos on screen. And if you're curious about other shows that got censored, check out our SpongeBob video. Toodaloo!